Hello again. I ended the last video, or somewhere toward the end, mentioned how Jesus and James were both literate, and that most of us were, and that I am. So it seems like it's a good time to bring up how we all became literate. And it's another subject dear to my heart. Many of you will have heard of the Essenes, but may not know a lot about them. Most of you will have heard about the Dead Sea Scrolls. And it's the Essenes that put those scrolls in the caves at a place by the Dead Sea where many of the Essenes lived, called the Qumran. What people still haven't realized, or most people haven't realized, but they will. The archaeological stuff is starting, so they'll find it. But that was the headquarters. But the Essenes were throughout the country and beyond. In fact, you know, although we don't hear about Essenes in this day and age, from what I can tell, at that time, the gate closest to the Dead Sea was called the Essene Gate, because they came and went so frequently to the temple and to other things in Jerusalem, but mainly the temple, that it became called the Essene Gate. So they were a very, very, very prominent group. So you might wonder, why are they not mentioned? Best I can tell, in Scripture. They're known from historical works, but not Scripture. And in Scripture, Jesus talks a lot about the Pharisees and the Sadducees, scribes, which is a function more than a religion. But he doesn't talk about the Essenes. He's railing against the Pharisees and how they're not upholding the law. He rails against the Sadducees, both of which ran the Sanhedrin, which was the governing body of Jerusalem, even when Rome took over, although they stacked the deck, Rome did. But nevertheless, the Sanhedrin was the governing body. And most of the people that made it up were Pharisees and Sadducees. I'm trying to think of a way to compare it. I guess there's a lot of different religions now, as if you can separate that religion. Jesus said many times he didn't come to start a new religion. He came to fulfill the religion. But it's all splintered all over the place, so it's hard to make out what's going on. But when people are talking against the other movements or the other religions, they don't talk bad about their particular religion, their interpretation. And that's how it was for Jesus. He agreed with the Essenes. He was an Essene, and so was James. And the Essenes took kids, boys and girls, and trained them, taught them. And then those that were especially gifted, males, got to stay longer. And that's what happened to Jesus. He was there for a long time and could have stayed there by the Dead Sea, studying and going back and forth to Jerusalem and being part of them. But he wanted to be in the world without being of the world, which is what the Essenes did for the most part. They had settlements in every community, and that's what I was part of. It's what most of us were part of, and where we learned to write and read. So there's more to say about the Essenes. I'm so sad that most were killed during the revolt, but happy that how many of the Essenes we kind of blended together with those that believed Jesus, and Jesus was following largely their interpretation, and then they followed his, and we blended together. And so we became called Nazarenes, because most taken the vow of the Nazarene. That's it for now. Thank you for listening. Treat yourself well. Love others. Peace.